What's up, you besties? Welcome back to my channel. I am really excited about today's video, and I think you will be too. This is something that I have wanted to do for a while. I've been a little bit nervous about it because it's a controversial thing to do, but I've put my big girl pants on and I'm ready to do it. So grab your popcorn, grab a little drink, grab whatever you need to grab, because I'm about to rank every single Big Brother winner from worst to best. Let's go. Last on my list, number 26, is BB1's winner, Eddie McGee. Womp, womp, womp. No, it's really not that serious. The reason that I put Eddie last is because Big Brother season 1 was a totally different season, and I just don't feel it's fair to rank him at all. So I thought the best thing to do would be to just put him last. You know what I mean? Now, if you have watched Big Brother season 1, you know that it was heavily, America had a really strong input on not only the winner, but what happened, even down to like the little games and competitions that they would do. So love Eddie, think he's a strong winner because duh, America picked him, but we're just gonna have to put him last because I only think that's fair. Number 25 on my list is Cody Calafiore. Don't wait, before you turn this video off, hear me out, okay? Remember, we are talking about people's season that they won. So if someone plays multiple seasons, we're only talking about the season that they did win. In Cody's case, he won BB22, the second All-Star season. Arguably the worst season in Big Brother history. Sure. Cody won by a unanimous 9-0 vote. I will give him that. But the season that he won, in my opinion, was not that impressive. Why? Because of the pre-gaming. There was a lot of pre-game that took place on that season, and let's just be real, he can thank Dan and Derek for this win. If you know, you know. Not gonna even get into it. Actually, drop in the comments if you know what I'm referring to. Cody was set up for an immediate success due to the pre-gaming. Also, BB22, the competitions were not equitable, and I also another thing that you're going to see with these videos with this ranking is that I am not going to be placing comp beasts high just because you can win competitions. I want somebody that's an overall well-rounded player. So, in my view, BB22's win was not that great, and honestly, Cody's elimination techniques, in my opinion, were like low-key reckless. Moving on to number 24, Adam Jasinski from BB9. Okay, hear me out on this one. Adam's win was full of controversy. Both in the house and outside of the house when he left. Why is that? Well, one, Adam used the R word to describe autistic children while he was in the Big Brother house. We saw it on the live feeds. But also, he works with autistic children. The math wasn't mathing, you know what I mean? The math was not mathing. Then, when he leaves, he wins Big Brother, and when he leaves, he uses his Big Brother winnings to start a whole oxycodone drug ring. That decision not only put Adam in the slammer, but it also put his ally from the Big Brother house, Matty McDonald, behind bars as well because Matt was helping him. Aside from this controversy, I just don't think that Adam's gameplay was all that impressive. The guy wasn't even that liked. He just managed to make it to the end and not get voted out, and they liked him more than the other person, so that's why he's so low on my list. Okay, number 23 on my list is Jackson Michie from BB season 21. Much like Adam, Michie just had an all-around undesirable attitude. But the difference in Adam and Michie is that Michie actually played the game, and he played it played it well. Even though I really don't want to, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Michie was playing a really strategic game. He took place in 7 alliances. He won 4 HOH competitions, survived 3 nominations, and he vetoed 4 times. Because he was a comp beast, and because he had so many alliances, he is not going to be at the bottom of my list. But the fact that production had to remind him not to have such a foul mouth makes it really hard for me to put him any higher on the list. You know what I mean? This guy's racist and degrading language was just too much for me. I don't like him. Let's move on to the next person. Number 22 on my list is Drew Daniel from BB5. If I were to ask you to name all of the Big Brother winners, you would get through like 24 or 25 of them, and you'd be like, shoot, who am I missing? Scratching your head, and it would be Drew. You would be missing Drew, and you would never remember that he even existed. But don't worry, Drew existed, and so did his necklace. Drew was true to his 4-person alliance, the 4 Horsemen, and that's great. That's awesome. He rocked with that until the end. They did fall apart a little bit, but 2 of them made it to the end. But here's the deal. We wouldn't even be talking about Drew right now if Michael Cowboy Ellis didn't have the audacity to evict his own biological sister. Actually, be the sole vote to evict his own biological sister. So for that reason, and for the fact that I just really think that Drew is underwhelming, he is number 22 on my list. Now, here is where I'm afraid I'm going to lose you. Number 21, Maggie Ausburn from BB6. But hear me out. Please don't hate me for this. I just find Maggie's win underwhelming. Maggie was in a house with really mentally unstable people. She was like the one lone wolf, the one sane person in the BB6 house. Love BB6. Literally is my favorite season. But just because you're able to be the calm amongst the storm doesn't make you a great player. Let me explain. Maggie was a part of the Friendship Alliance. The Friendship Alliance was in constant opposition with the Sovereign Six Alliance. And one would think that Maggie outlasting constant alliance beef would be enough to be like, dang, she's a really good player. But I don't think so. And let me tell you why. The Friendship Alliance had 4 really whiny people. It was like putting 4 big D's in an alliance together. They just griped and whined and complained. And all Maggie really had to do was reassure them. Did she have to do it a lot? Yes, she had to reassure them constantly. But she had to just constantly reassure them that their grievances were warranted. That their whines and their gripes and their complaints were valid. And as long as she did that, they liked her. Now, let me give a little credit to her. I couldn't do it. That season would have driven me up a wall. It would have driven me to a mental institution. Also, I do feel like there are some people that feel like Maggie is responsible for the demise of the Sovereign Six. I definitely disagree. I think the Sovereign Six demised themselves. Let's be real. Friendship was not only in opposition with the Sovereign Six, they were also in opposition with themselves. Because if one person looked at another one the wrong way, they were ready to fight. They were ready to evict them. Like, it was a lot, and Maggie had to deal with a lot, but being the one sane person doesn't make you a wonderful player. Okay? Also, I just want to note that she won by a 4-3 vote. So the jury was obviously pretty hung on this as well. And I just want to also remind you that Maggie took her money and left. She never is involved in the BB6 scene. She has not been involved in the Big Brother community ever, to my knowledge. BB6 is really, really close-knit to each other, and Maggie is not a part of that. Number 20 on my list is Jag Baines of BB25. Now, Jag. Okay, so is he really impressive? I don't think so. I think he's also very underwhelming. Was it impressive that he was completely evicted unanimously and then came back and then won the game? Yeah, that's awesome. That's really impressive. But I just don't think that being a comp beast, which is what he came back and did, makes you a amazing player. Jag was also really lucky because had Matt had anyone else to talk to in that house, this would not have happened. And let me tell you why. Once Reilly left, Matt had no one. The alliance he was in blew up. There was a wrap on that. And Matt had Jag, and Matt kind of had Cirie, but he wasn't really all that sure. The only reason that he was leaning towards Cirie is because Reilly told him to trust Cirie. Had Matt had anyone else, he would have ended up telling other people about this power. People would have talked him out of it. Yes, did he tell Cirie? Sure. But Cirie was a competition beast, a very experienced reality competition TV player, and she knew not to say anything. She knew we're just going to have to deal with this and let him do what he's going to do. And that's what she did. And unfortunately, it resulted in the rest of that game going to shit. Also, I think if you're disliked enough to be voted out on a 10-0 vote, need I say anything else? Number 19, Nicole Franzel of BB18. Hear me out. Remember, we're judging people's exact season that they're on. So let me start off by giving Nicole a little bit of credit. She is the first woman to sit next to a man and beat him in the final two. That's awesome. So happy for her. However, Nicole's low-key annoying. She bothers me. Nicole's first two seasons, she got in showmance after showmance. And those showmances are what led her to getting as far as she did. Also, I get it. That could be a strategy. But in this case, I don't think it was. I just think she was boy crazy. There are also a few things about Nicole that I think I want to inform everyone about, because I think there are a lot of people that love Nicole, that they should know these things. Look, Nicole plays like an absolute snake, but she wants everyone to think she's the girl next door. Hence, the way she treated Ian on BB22. I know we're not judging that for this list, but I just want to name it because she didn't have to do Ian as dirty as she did. Is it a game? Yes, sure, it is. But she was more worried. If you watch the live feeds, you know Nicole was more concerned, way more concerned about how America was going to perceive her decision than breaking it to Ian gently or letting him know. She also actively led Ian to believe that they were final twos, actively led Ian to believe that they were besties, etc., etc. She would be in rooms with people who were making fun of Ian, and she would laugh and she would giggle. If Ian's truly as close to you as you want America and Ian to think, you wouldn't be laughing and giggling. You would get up and walk away, or you would say something to those people. Rubbed me the wrong way, okay? Also, because on BB22, it's a little different than BB14, because to my knowledge, Ian did not tell the cast on BB14 that he had autism, but on BB22, he was very open and honest about it. Also, let's rewind, let's back up, and let's talk about BB18. Davon was very loyal to Nicole, and Nicole knew that, at least in the beginning, and Nicole knew that. But Nicole's choice was to literally convince people that Davon was aggressive and scary. I'll let that sit for a minute. I'm not going to describe that any further. I think you can figure out why that's fucked up. I would also be remiss not to tell you that on the live feeds, Nicole was found to say that she thought Julie Chen was too hard on Erin Grease Williams, whatever her name is now. Yeah, BB15 Erin. That Erin. Just personal reasons, can't move her up anymore, but also Paul had terrible jury management skills. He just did. And that was a huge help to Nicole Franzel. All right, if I haven't lost you by now, let's move on to the next one. Number 18 on my list, Taylor Hale from BB24. I know. Not a popular decision. But I'm sorry. Taylor's win is not that impressive to me. For gameplay reasons specifically, Taylor's win is not impressive. For what she had to go through, awesome. She was bullied. She was subjected to microaggressions and really derogatory statements about her. Is she a deserving winner? 100% absolutely. But what did Taylor do gameplay-wise that was so amazing? She didn't really win competitions. At the end, she won a pretty pivotal one. That was awesome. Okay, it's not all about competitions. Yes, I agree. She was involved in an alliance. That was like the only alliance that took her in. And all she did was their dirty work. One of the competition, at one point she gets HOH and she shouldn't have necessarily made the move that she made for her game, but she just did it because what else was she going to do? She had to just go along with what her alliance wanted. And also her showmance, a little creepy. Didn't like it. Taylor's okay. She's fine. I think if she came back and played Big Brother again, I do think that she would do really, really well. And game-wise, I think she would play a really, really good game. But for the purposes of this ranking, I cannot put her any higher because, you know what I mean? She's a mediocre player. She's underwhelming to me. And I'm sorry, I definitely know that I have lost you at this point. If you stuck around, thank you so much for not leaving. Let's move on to number 17, Lisa Donahue, who won BB3. Lisa's awesome. Love Lisa. She played an okay game. But Danielle Reyes is the true and rightful winner of BB3. And the only reason that Lisa Donahue won is because production fucked up and didn't sequester the jury. So BB3 was the first season to have a jury. Production didn't think, oh, they're going to go home, they're going to watch this, and it might change their perception. And that's exactly what happened. Nearly every person that was evicted, when Julie Chen asked them on the couch, hey, who are you going to vote to win this game at the end as a juror? You know what they said? Danielle Reyes. You know what happened? They didn't vote Danielle Reyes. Why? Because they went home. They got opinions from outside people. They were able to watch the show on CBS. They were able to watch the live feeds. They were able to rewind the live feeds back then and watch past stuff. They were able to, if their family recorded or DVR'd or whatever the show, they were able to watch the show. And so I just don't believe that she's the true and rightful winner of that season, so I'm not going to put her that much higher, but I do think she played an alright game. Number 16 on my list is Jordan Lloyd, who won BB11. Look, Jordan is America's sweetheart, and I love her. She's great, but Jeff is a big reason why she was able to win that season. Jordan received a lot of help from Jeff, and I just don't find her gameplay that impressive. But again, I really do like Jordan. Number 15 on my list, Steve Moses, who won BB17. Between Steve and Liz, of course, Steve deserves the win. However, I think we all know that the best player of BB17 is Vanessa Russo, right? Now, Steve made a really good game move when he silently took out Vanessa, and that deserves a lot of kudos, and that's why he's number 15. You got to realize also, at this point, we're getting midway through, okay? So these are still good players, but, he played a silent but deadly game, I guess, maybe, but other than getting out Vanessa, he didn't make any really, really strong waves in the game that make me feel like he's an iconic player. Number 14 on my list is Ian Terry, who won BB14. There's a lot of controversy around this win because a lot of people feel that Dan deserved it, and I do think that Dan dominated the BB14 game, but I think he underestimated Ian. Ian played a floaters game in the beginning. Floating, in my opinion, is an absolute strategy. And it's sometimes a really good strategy. Ian was throwing competitions, just doing what he could to make connections with people. And then at the end of the game, he started beast mode winning, and it paid off. And then Dan underestimated his jury votes, and he underestimated his jury management. And Ian won, and I love that for him. And Ian is actually one of my favorite players. He's also really strategic. Ian is on the Traitors. If you didn't know, I guess I should have said spoiler alert. Ian's on the Traitors. He's going to be on the Traitors season 4. So if you like this video, make sure to go watch my Traitors video so you can hear more of my thoughts on Ian. Number 13 on my list is Chelsie Baham, who won BB26. Chelsea's great. Chelsie, I think, played a really solid game. And look, she's number 13. She's really close to top 10. I actually started to struggle at this point with my list because I was like, shoot, like, okay, I have to decide who's going to be in the top 10. Chelsie unfortunately did not make the cut, but she played a really good and really solid game. She managed to go from literally losing her vote on week 1 to winning the entire game. This girl made connections with everyone and made really strong, solid connections with people to the point where like she never was a target. It was never a thought to get her out. Not really. Everyone wanted to take her with them to the final 2 as well. If you think about it, like Cam was going to take her to the final 2 and so was Mackenzie. Like she was covered. She played a really good game. Number 12 on my list, Reilly, who won BB13. I love Reilly. I know she's a controversial player. I know she's massively abrasive, but it worked out. And also, I think that people who don't like Reilly, it's because they're remembering her first season. They're remembering BB12 Reilly, but remember, this is her winning season, BB13. When she came in on BB13, I think Jeff had a little bit of pull on her and she was a lot more tolerable. He toned her down just a tad. They did have their little tiff in the beginning on like night 1 when Rachel called him Buki, and he didn't like that. After that, things went a lot smoother. Rachel has an extremely divisive personality and extremely divisive gameplay. But despite that, she was still able to make connections, still able to form alliances and be in alliances, etc., etc., etc. She also is able to win competitions. Rachel is an amazing player. I love Rachel. She's awesome. There will be no Rachel hate on this channel. Number 11 on my list is Josh Martinez, who won BB19. Don't leave. I know you want to. Don't leave. I love Josh. Let me explain Josh to you. So I actually really wanted to bump up Josh one just so that he could be in my top 10, but I couldn't. There were other people that I had to leave in there. I know a lot of you are going to be pissed about this decision, but to put him number 11 and not have him lower on my list. Here's the deal. Josh, a lot of people think Josh was Paul's puppet. I don't believe that that is true. When Josh looked around and realized that Paul was making key mistakes in the game and Paul had really terrible jury management again, and mind you, Josh watched Paul's first season. Like, Josh is a super fan of Big Brother. When Josh recognized these things, he knew what he needed to do, and that was to leave key messages to people in their goodbye messages so that they would understand what was happening. And he made sure the jury wasn't bitter towards him. Paul didn't do that. Paul had terrible jury management. So, also speaking of Paul is going to be on House of Villains season 3, House of Villains season 3. So go check out my video on House of Villains season 3 if you want to know a little bit more about Paul. All right, sadly, I had to break this video into 2 parts. That is all for part 1. I have put the link in the comments for part 2. So make sure to check out part 2 of this video where I give you my top 10. I'm so excited for you to see my top 10. I think you're going to like my top 10. I really do. There's only a few controversial choices, but I think for the most part, you're going to agree with my top 10. So, bye, BB Besties.